There we go, guys. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching this, tuning in from. I forgot to click the record button. So we've got 60 people on here hearing this spiel again. But I appreciate you taking the time out tonight. We're going to cover a quick hour overview. Might be a little bit less, might be a little bit more. But what I want to start doing is having sessions where we can jump on, and a lot of the questions that are getting asked in Facebook, in school, in Telegram support. I want to start covering that and sharing that on these sessions. We got a new trader on board on Monday evening. 16 trades sent out, 15 wins, one stop loss. We had just around 900 pips for the week, which is insane. And that was him just getting warmed up. So this is, for me, is fantastic to share with you guys. And what I really wanted to do on this call, I've gone through the school, I've gone through the support, and I've also gone through the Facebook group and taken a batch of questions that you guys are asking on a regular basis that I truly believe will if I answer these, it'll help you guys, with moving forward, if you will. So what we'll do is we'll go on to here, and I'm just going to kind of cover this evening. The things that I'm going to cover are going to be, let me just delete number 10 off there. We're going to cover how to place a trade. We're going to cover, if you miss a trade by a few minutes, what do you do? The multiple take profits and how to use it. We're also going to cover on here scalping, zones, risk management, leaving a trade running or not to leave it, moving stop loss to entry, and sending results. So for me, this is something that, again, if you guys can just understand this here, you'll get phenomenal results with inside of the community. So again, on the left-hand side here, this trade was sent on the 24th. So 5 days ago now, whatever day that was, on the 24th at 2:33 p.m. So very, very simply, when we look at this here on how to place this trade, for those of you who are new, you might not know this yet. This is completely fine to not know this. You're brand new. We do teach all of this in the school community. But the goal here is that your entry point wants to be as close to 26.28 as physically possible. So this is why I teach a lot of people to turn notifications on. So yes, you might need to turn the noise off, which is completely fine, but don't turn the notifications off, because you might see this 7, 12, 15 minutes late, and the difference in entry is going to be potentially quite huge, especially because we trade gold. And I've broken it all down onto here so we can share this. But again, we've got the entry point, we've got the stop loss, we've got take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3, and take profit 4. So a lot of you on here, if we're just going to be honest, you're going to be trading with 0.01 for every £100 that you've got in your account. Okay, so 0.01 is obviously 10 pence per move. So what we really want to look at here is what your account balance is. If you're new, don't over leverage and stick to 0.01. The reason that I say this here is sticking to 0.01 is because, to begin with, we don't want you getting your emotions too caught up, because what's going to happen is a trade's going to go against you. You're going to have negative, trades. The trade's going to be going against, and you're not going to know how to handle emotionally that trade. So when we go through this here, having a 0.01 for every 100, but if you're new, don't over leverage. 0.01 regardless, right? So here, in this scenario, if you'd have hit, and this is me just kind of going through and breaking this down, if we'd have hit take profit in this here, you'd have done 20 pips, right? Which would have been roughly £2. If you'd have hit take profit 2, that would have been 50 pips, which would have been £5, right? Give or take, again, spread. So not spread, you're trading against the US dollar here. So you're trading against the currency pound against the US dollar. So if we go on here and we do GBP, 10 GBP to USD, you have to remember that if you're making 10 US dollars, you're making £7.48. So because we're trading the US dollar in this, if you make 10 USD, you're getting £7.48. So sometimes there is a difference in MetaTrader, which is completely fine. TP3 equals 100 pips, which would be £10. And then you've got TP4, which would have been 100, doing that wrong, entry. 190 pips. Call it, yeah, 190 pips, which would have been £19. So in this here, if you'd have only had a smaller account and you were only trading 0.01, you would have made £19 if you'd have held all of that trade. So I know a lot of you guys are thinking, well, Bradley, how do we know if to hold that trade? How do we know what to do? If you're on 0.01, what we are going to teach is the entry points. So if we just go to this here, this is the exact trade that got sent out, okay? So what I'm going to do here is just really, really quickly, we're going to go on to the higher time frame. And this way it comes to like understanding zones, understanding key areas. You have to remember that with gold, we're at an all-time high. So these zones here are unpredictable. So, but when you see this here, just this zone, you can get used to seeing these sections here where price respects the area over and over again, right? So we can go probably to there to be a little bit more precise. So you can see here, price reacts, breaks above, bounces, so on and so on. You get a little bit of a kind of zoomed in version of it there. But these are the zones, if you will. Let's call these support and resistance. Just drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Support classed as this is the floor. You want to have the support as the floor, which is the bottom. You want to have the resistance as the roof, which is the high. Okay. If you don't understand this, please pop a 2 in the chat. I'm completely fine with people putting 2s. It doesn't mean any type of way. It's just you can be open and honest when it comes to this. So we want to have the support and the resistance. Support, resistance, support, resistance. They're also known as zones. So again, like if we look at when the trade pushes up, this now becomes, so we delete all of these because trade breaks the high. This is now the support zone. This is now your floor, okay? So if the trade bounces up, where would we expect this trade to have gone had shit not have been going on in the US? We'd have expected it to come down here, and then price would have either reacted or we'd have seen price come down, break back up, and then continue back to this zone here, which is where this bit was, right? So that's what we're looking for whenever we're trading. We're looking for price to give us almost like strategic patterns, if you will. So when we jump down the higher time frame, the biggest thing to remember in trading is that the higher time frame gives you the overall directional bias. So if we're looking at this trade here, the trade is going up from here, like all the way from fucking God knows when, right? Since, if we go on the daily, in fact, the last low point was December 2015, right? So the market in gold has been going up and up and up and up and up and up since then. Why is that? Because since 2000 and whatever date, the price and the market has been so uncertain. Gold is a safe haven for currencies. It's a safe haven for any area or any asset because gold will never, ever not be in value. Whether it's for jewelry, whether it's for gold is a safe haven. So people put their money into that. When there's something going on in the world, gold will gain strength. The US dollar right now is worth buttons. That currency will go to zero, so will the Great British Pound, so will the Euro, so will the Japanese Yen, and we will eventually, mark my word on this, on the 29th of September, 2024, we will have one world currency. Fact. So if we know that, these are the currencies that are going to have the most volatility. When you look at pairs such as the Euro against the JPY, and if you guys want to print screen this, this is a trade that I'm currently looking into. So again, I don't think this has happened yet. If you want to, let me just have a look. Oh, yeah, it did. My bad. I will break this trade down in a minute, don't worry. But if you go back to these specific times, like you can see why the market does what it does. So all we're going to do is now we've seen this pair go and do its thing. So on the smaller time frame now, we're going to look for the specific thing on the zone level as well. So we can look here and be like, right, well, price reacted nicely here. It broke, it like hit the resistance, hit resistance, hit resistance, hit resistance, hit resistance, broke above, if you want to class that as breaking above, retested, and then went off to the high. You could then break down these little zones here, but again, on the smaller time frame, this can become a little bit tricky. But if we just look at the trades that got sent out here, and we go to 1:33, 24th at 1:33 p.m. That was when it was sent. So this was how the trade was analyzed when we sent it out. So if you go into a little bit of structure here, so if we just zoom in on this point here, this bit here was the last significant push down before structure got broke. So this is what we call your structure here. This is your high. This is your low, okay? We then had a shift to the upside. As you can see, this bit here broke this structure point here, right? So if we look at this trade now, it's trading between this and this. But this bit here was the last significant point before the trade ran. Does that make sense? Just drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. So you can see that down black candle, push down, then went. Okay? Yeah, got a lot of 1s in the chat, which is nice to see. So when we're placing this trade, if the trade breaks this structure point here, because it's the last significant push down before price moved up, then the trade is invalid. So if we look at that there, if the trade breaks below here, it's invalid. So that's why stop loss goes here. It goes below the low. Because if we put it too tight, price might come down and chase these lows, which is where liquidity is, which is money. And then when you get used to seeing this over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, that's why the strike rate can be so high. So when we zoom into this bit here, again, just to give you a bit more of a trading analysis, how do I go into this without boggling too many brains, right? If you see, it was sent at 20, what time was it? 33 it was sent, so we might need to go down a little lower. So it was sent at 33, which was 1 more across. So trade was sent here. Oops, it is 1 more across. There. So trade was sent here, 33. Okay. So here is the gap in the market that's being filled. So that there, price is going to go back to this bit regardless anyway. So that's take profit 1. Okay. There's a little gap there in the trade, which got filled. Price came back down. It's going to hit here regardless. That's a little 20 pipper. For you guys who are busy, who are seeing this for the, when you're at work, you might want to just aim for take profit 1. And this will allow you to bank and slowly grow your account. But this is where managing the emotion comes in heavily. Because if we're sending out 4 take profits, the risk to reward on this one isn't that great. The risk to reward on this one isn't that great. For me personally, I prefer 1-to-1s. But because of how gold moves, these two are relatively safe havens that they're going to hit, right? Because price has already gone and shown us its hand a little bit that it's moving to the upside. So if it goes below here and below here, we're fucked anyway, right? We're going to lose the trade. So when it comes to layering, if the trade at this point came down here to 26 to 25 to 24 to 23 to 22, like down here, you could layer into this trade as long as your risk management is on point. If it breaks below here, below this exact zone, below here, I wouldn't be layering. Okay? And the reason for that there is, 1 second, let me just sort this out. There we go. So the reason for that is if it goes below there, we might get this. We might get a break to the downside, put drawing mode on. We might get a break to the downside, push back up, and a continuation. So we might end up kind of losing out on all of our trades. So this is where being mindful when it comes to trading is super important, because anyone can place trades, anyone can enter the market, anyone can, enter in and out of the market, in and out of the market. But it's understanding and managing your emotion whilst you do so, because once that trade got sent, see how it pulls back a little bit more? You could have entered at 27. You could have got a better entry. Okay. You could have got an extra 10 pips out of that move to push up. So then that becomes then a 30. You could have got that there. So then that becomes a 30 pip take profit instead of 10 pips, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the entry points that we're taking. So again, look, even more here. You could have gone down to 26. So that trade you could have eventually layered in, and you could have banked 37 pips on that one. Okay. This trade, if you'd have done the same, you'd have ended up potentially banking 65. So that trade took very little time to actually hit take profit. You could have been in and out within 5-10 minutes max. Does that make sense? So as we go through this, we're going to give you 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 options most of the time. So when it comes to trading, it depends how long you can emotionally hold that trade for. We set the trade based off of our understanding of the market, right? And what we're doing. Like for me personally, I'm not involved in this at all on a trading perspective, which I love. I can just break down this and it's nice to see. So when we break this down and we look, right, okay, so now it's been 10 minutes in, 20 minutes in, and we've hit take profit 2. So you've banked 50 pips there. So at this point, take profit's done. And I think at this point, I do believe we said to put our stop loss above entry. For me personally, this completely depends as to whether, you want to do that. For me personally, I'm more of I like to just aim for the profits. I don't like adjusting my stop loss too much. At this point here, once trade's running, I might do this. Okay. I might tighten my stop losses heavily. So then the risk to rewards become a little bit nicer for me on each one. But as you can see here, like you're not always going to have an up move. Okay. When this trade starts moving, it hit take profit within 33, 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. By 3:30, so 3 hours, we've hit take profit 4. So when you're placing these trades, it depends on your emotional stability. And what I mean by that is if you're the person who's fucking checking your phone all the time, put take profit 1, put take profit 2, get out of the market. Because this game, the people who win and lose in trading, it's psychology based. If you're an emotional wreck about money, you will lose. Whether we're hitting take profits left, if we had a 100% win rate, you would still lose. Fact. Because you're entering too many trades, you're entering multiple trades, you're trying to scalp the market because you've seen it go up and down a few times on the 1 minute time frame. Most of you are looking at it zoomed in. You're sat there and being like, right, it's on an uptrend, I'm buying. But you haven't seen what the 15-minute and the 1 hour time frame is saying. So the trade has to come back down because the market can't just go like this. Otherwise, banks, government, hedge funds, and every retail trader would make money. We're the retail guys. There's retail and there's institutional. Institutional are banks, governments, hedge funds. They trade with tens of thousands of lot sizes, no stop losses. I know some of you guys on here also have no stop losses, so you're rascals for doing so. But again, just getting you to a point where you're placing these trades and you're going through the motions. So if you'd have held this trade here, yes, you could have got take profit 1. Yes, you could have got take profit 2, take profit 3, take profit 4. But what a lot of you are doing, and this is just my observation, is you're hitting take profit 1, but then you're trying to buy here, right? And then the trade drops 30 pips and you close it because you think, shit. Breaks up again, you enter another buy, drops, you close it. Drop a 1 in the chat if that's you right now, if you're currently entering trades when the market is going going up, and then it's going against you and you're closing the trade, you're losing money, right? And again, if it's okay to admit this, because like I've seen it thousands of times. Aiming not to is a 1, Mary. Aiming not to is a 1. Okay. And again, you don't have to lie to yourselves on this. You can be open and honest. The quicker you can start admitting things, the quicker you'll move forward in trading. So for me, think of it like catching a knife. If you know that this is your target zone here, right? You know that this is the area that we're aiming for, up at the top. Okay. You know that that's the goal. Leave it. Let it do its thing. Like that trade there was beautiful. A 1 to 3, perfect. That is what you will find most of our take profits at. A 1 to 3. We aim for take profit 4s. Same as you saw the other day with NAS 100. Again, take profit 4 got hit. 200 pips. So we put take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3 in place so that you guys can get in, get out, bank some profit, bank some money, and you're not in there in the emotional roller coaster of the trade going up and down. That's why we always say place 1 or 2 trades. You don't have to place 60. If a knife was just casually sitting on the edge of the work surface, you wouldn't knock it off and try and catch it, would you? On purpose. No, you wouldn't. You just place it on the side and let it do its thing. Whereas some of you're watching, you've take profit and you're like, oh, that was a good one. Oh, catch it. And you're wondering why your fucking fingers and limbs are getting cut off. It's because you're literally doing it on purpose. And again, I'm going to say this for the people in the back who are sat here lying to themselves. You will blow your account. Again, and again, and again, and again. And I can see Beverly laughing there because I'm not sure if she's the one that's just racking her account up left, right, and center, right? But you will blow your account. And you will enter trades and you'll say, I shouldn't be doing this. Bye. I shouldn't be doing this. Bye. I shouldn't be doing this. Sell. And you've got a trade that's counter trending each other. You've got buys and sells on. You don't know what's going on anymore. And you're in a position of it's called world of pain. Now you're in such an emotional roller coaster because you shouldn't have placed either of them trades. And you don't know which one to close first. You're waiting for one to get into profit before you close the other one. And before you know it, your account's gone. And you're thinking, shit, like everyone else is winning. Why am I not? It's because you're trying to hit them home runs that I talk about, them slam dunks that I talk about. You've seen someone take a $6,000 account to 18K, which, yes, it's possible. But you got to be that person who is disciplined emotionally and mindset based around money. You can't expect to come into this with your last £300 and a button and expect to get to the 10K when you've not managed the emotional side of 4 figures yet. So when you start to do this and you start to, place trades and you start to over leverage, yes, you're going to win. And again, when you start to understand, you go through like the laws of the universe, you understand Think and Grow Rich, you understand how all of everything polarity-wise is based, you're going to start doing things and the world and the universe will go, yep, have some of that, profits. You go, shit, that was good. Again. And I've talked about this so many times, the 46K eventually fucking goes. 2 hours. Adios. Because you haven't learned. £200 means nothing to you right now. £500, nothing to you. £1,000 might hurt, but there's not enough pain there. 2,000, there might not be enough pain there yet because you earn that per month. Some of you who earn bigger incomes, you're going to get ruined 10 times harder because the money that you earn, it's not exactly 54K down. And if this is James Batchford, I'm going to punch him clean in his face. Right? It is James because he put lol, right? This guy here, I'm going to bash. In fact, I'm calling you out on this call. He's a great friend of mine. Known him for years. right? Years. We literally talked about a trade on Bitcoin however many months ago. He took silly money to a lot of money. And I said, bro, you don't know what you're doing. Stop trading. Take the 50 grand that you have, withdraw it. Yeah, mate, will do. Didn't hear from him for 2 days. Guess what happened? Blow me account, mate. How? Over leveraging on Bitcoin. I thought it was going to go here, there, and everywhere, and it didn't. Adios. I know his missus is probably sat next to him now, so my apologies on this. But sometimes you have to learn the hard way. Because if you've got that gambling mentality, for me, I'm off to the casino tonight. I can't take my card. So I know what'll happen. It'll be Wednesday. And I'm chasing it. Right? Can't do it. With this, you have to be so disciplined. And that's why I say to you guys, when the money that you're earning starts getting to a point where, excuse the pun here, but when your ass starts doing this a little bit, right? We've all had that moment. Withdraw it. Take it out. Start again. If you turn £500 into 3 grand, cash out. Treat yourself. Pay off some debts. Because it'll trigger that psychological part of you that goes, this is good. So when you go to do that dumb thing of placing too many trades, you think, nah, could pay off another credit card here. Could buy that dress, could buy them shoes, could upgrade my car, could do this, could do that. All the shoulda, woulda, couldas, but you can't do that if you become the professional depositor again. Right? So in this game, you have to, and that's why, and again, I would be shocked. I'll put a bit of money on this, right? There's 73 of us on this call. How many of you in the chat could send me a picture right now of Trading in the Zone, the book that I told everyone to buy? I'll wait. 1, 2. Had it 3 years. Listen, James has had the book fucking 3 years. Still blowing money left, right, and center. Probably not read it. It's a doorstop, right? Listening online, got the audio version, still reading it. Only read 11 pages. You see, I told you the first 15 pages are key to teach you why you're blowing your money. Get these 4 pages read tonight. James Batchford, right? Oh, that was a great, I knew it. 3 years, read 11 pages. Get the book. It's fucking 26 quid. You'll spend that on a shit Nando's. Read it, take notes. And the reason I say buy the physical version. Anyone can listen to it. There's a reason that I put the physical book in there, not audio. Because anyone can listen while you're potting around, you're fucking on your phone, you're on treadmill, you're walking around, you're listening in car, you're paying attention to 6 million other things. It's called Trading in the Zone. Get it on YouTube, right? So have it, for me personally, I'll listen on audio and I'll read at the same time. And the reason that I say buy it is because it's a physical investment in yourself. Trust me, it changed. In fact, I'm gonna go a little bit real and raw on you guys. I nearly got sued from these people. For those of you who know who runs the the publication, it's a lady called Paula Webb. Right? Man, they threatened to take me to court. Because I was putting it on YouTube for everyone to buy, everyone to read. They asked me where I had it on school, if I had it in Facebook groups, did I have it in Telegram, did I have it in here? I was like, yeah, why? They were like, well, we can be making money off that. I was like, shit. Didn't think of it like that. There was like, how many of this, how many of that? But again, buy the book. It's 25 quid, 26 quid. Buttons. If you want to make serious money in this game, study that book. If you're religious, make it your Bible, right? 10, 15 pages. I hate reading. 10, 15 pages a day, 10, 15 pages a day. So when you look at this here from the trading perspective, understanding the psychology and the mindset behind it all is what's going to give you the difference in all areas. Where's that wording gone now? Did I delete it? I deleted it. Surely not. Oops, it is. Where's my bloody questions gone? Let me come off of this. Undo. I had loads of questions I wanted to go through as well. Anyway, I'll find them. I think I covered most of them anyway. But when it comes to this, guys, honestly, like, trust me when I say remove your emotion out of it. £12 on Amazon, yeah, definitely get it. Remove your emotion out of this game as quickly as you can, and you'll become such a better trader when it comes to it. It might have been on the 4 hour actually. Yeah, let me. Is you've got my Spotify list there. 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minutes. God damn it. Anyway, there it was, hidden all the way at the top. Look. So, how to place a trade we've covered. Missing a trade by a few minutes, what should I do? Great question. So, if we go again to this section here on the small time frame, 233. 233. There, 130. So if you miss the trade by a few minutes, you're going to still be able to get in around that entry. Okay, don't worry too much. Like here, look, for example, it was sent at 233. You could have waited. You could have got in at the high of 230. So you'd already hit take profit. But again, it could have come back down. And this is where scalping, and this is where all the other things, yeah, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. As you go through this is where you can scalp the entries. So you could have got in once, hit take profit, twice, hit take profit, a third time, potentially hit take profit. Again, this comes with confidence, it comes with time, it comes with you spending getting a bit of understanding in the trades. But once it's gone from there, I wouldn't be entering if TP2's already hit. Personally, it's 50 pips gone. Wait for us to call potential re-entries or extra zones or something like that. Because what will happen is you'll get into such a pickle with buying and selling, placing too many trades, that before you know it, you know, you're entering the market when you really don't need to be. So yeah, that's probably why. Don't need you anymore. Scalping zones, risk management, leave a trade running or not. Stop having to do this over again. There we go. So how to place a trade done, miss a trade by a few minutes, multiple take profits, how to use scalping zones, risk management. Risk management, guys, like, again, this is such a common question, but it's such an easy one to talk about. Like, the risk management side of things, you shouldn't be over leveraging. Like, a lot of people say to me, well, Bradley, how much do you risk per trade? Like, for me, I'll be honest, I risk 4 to 5% per trade because I understand what it'll be. I'm happy to lose 5% of my account. I'm good because I'm trading with higher lot sizes. I'm trading with higher leverage. I'm trading with higher risk. If I'm trading on my main account, my risk is 0.2%. But on my other, I've got one account that's a little bit bigger, and I've got another account that I kind of play on, if you will. The bigger account, I have 0.2%. The smaller accounts are 4 to 5%. The reason for that is I'm okay losing 5% of that account. With this one, I'm not. I'm not happy with that. But if you can get so comfortable with understanding that Like even with 0.01 on a £500 account on an 80 pip stop loss, that's £8. So if you understand just basic maths, like you don't have to become a mathematician in this. 0.01 times 80 pips equals £8. You've got a £500 account. That's 10 would be £5. 10 would be 50. 10% would be £50. 1% would be £5. So you'd be talking about 1.5% ish, maybe. Risk. So if you wanted to risk 10% per trade, which is £50, you could trade at 8, 16, 24, 32. You could trade at roughly 0.05. So if that went wrong, 5 times 80 would be £40, roughly. You know, probably even 0.6 on that. You'd be at 48 pound loss. But again, it comes down to you. Most of you are losing this anyway when you're placing a trade because you don't understand what you're doing. Start at 0.01, master it. Then go to 0.02, master it. 0.03. Get your confidence up in trading. It's not a race. I've covered this with you before, but when we look at like the calculator soup side of things and we look at, you know, the growth on this, like, see if we find it on here again. Compound interest. It's not that one. Calculator soup. Fuck off. Anyway, you get what I mean. As you grow with this, we've talked about it before, where you can turn £500. You will sit here for 2.5, 3 years. That account will be a couple of mil. Fact. 100%. So when you come into this, don't think with what your account balance is now, what it's going to be in a week, what it's going to be in a month, what it's going to be. Look at a year's time. What can that trading account be if you be consistent with this? If you take the trades, remove your emotion. Like, that's the hardest thing in this game. Trust me. Is getting out of your own way and placing trades and not placing too many. For me, I struggled with that so hard at the beginning. I didn't really understand what I was doing. I didn't really understand why other people were making an insane amount of money and I wasn't. It's because I was gambling and trying to hit that home run every single time. So this is it here that I was trying to do. But again, start with 500. Again, in fact, do me a favor, write in the chat what you're currently trading with. Like, what's your current balance right now that you're trading with? 200, 500, 1,000, should be 300, but 3K, 10 grand, 400, 1,500, 1,900, 248, 600, 4K, 2K, 50. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to put the average on here as 1,000. Okay, just for an average. If you grow that 3% a week over 1 year, only include Monday to Friday, and you don't deposit anymore, we start that. In fact, we'll start afresh next month, right? We'll start afresh on. In fact, we'll do it for 30. Okay. That £1,000 account, just doing 3% a week, you're gonna have 3 grand at the end of the year. No one's buzzing about that. No one. Absolutely nobody is excited about that on this call. I don't think anyway. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. No, they're not. But if over that yearly period, you get comfortable and you're like, right, well, every month, I'm going to put an extra 500 quid in, because you can start with 1,000, but I'm going to put in every month additional deposits of 500 quid. So over the year, you've now invested, total invest, you've invested 5,500 in additional deposits, plus your 1,000. You're now at 13K. That's now a completely different story, because that £500 a month you would have spent anyway. And this is one thing that I really try to get into people's heads when they're trading, is You guys in here that tell me you have no money, you're the first people that I see when the January markets are on, when there's a sale on, when there's a weekend party going on. You're the first people there. I see everyone at Costa's and Starbucks and the favorite coffee shops and restaurants every day. I'm not saying don't do that, but if you want to get to a point where you live like other people can or won't ever, you have to do things differently. Telling you, my first 8 months of trading, I took a £500 account. 8 months later, I was fully self-sufficient on it, where I was able to quit my job and do just trading full time. In them 8 months, I ate like an absolute brokey. I was eating pot noodles. I was eating fucking rice and just basic chicken, no sauces. I wasn't eating out. I wasn't going to Starbucks. I wasn't going to Costa. For anyone here who has known me this long, they can attest to this. I think James knew me when I was doing this. I was having crisp sandwiches. I was eating like an absolute scrub. But 8 months later, I quit my job. I was going golfing while other people was at work. I was able to go on holidays when other people couldn't. No other time. Drinking Organo coffee. Damn right I was. Right? So understanding that you've got to sacrifice a little bit at the beginning. And too many people are in the comfort zone all the time, and they'll keep that little bit of money for a rainy day. In the UK, it's always raining. And I'm telling you right now, the world that we live in, it's only going to get worse. They will raise taxes, they will raise inflation, they will raise everything around us until eventually you can't afford it. There's something that's in the works right now, which is you will have nothing, you will own nothing, and you'll be happy with it. If you know who Klaus Schwab is, and if you don't, go look at what his motto is and what his plan is for the world. For you guys to have nothing. Eventually, your house will be owned by someone else. You'll live in it. It won't cost you rent. You won't have to go to work, but they'll give you a certain amount of money. You'll be tagged up. Telling you. So I'm not saying that, again, tinfoil hat, it might be, but the other conspiracy theories from 3 years ago are all coming right. So I'm saying this on these calls to get to a point where you think differently than the average human being. The 99% of the population will never, ever think or move like this. So if you can transition that mindset just a little bit to think, actually, yeah, maybe I should stop smashing 64 Costas in a month, right? You'll feel 100% better. Trust me. When you start to feel better, you'll look better. When you start to look better and feel better, you'll perform better in every single area of your life. Trading becomes a breeze. Trading's boring. Does the same thing day in, day out, goes up and down. You just have to get the right side of it. That's it. Once the emotional psychology and the emotional attachment away from money, so it's a fun game. Fun coupons. You get to a point where it's just like, yeah, it's not real. The money that you've got in your trading account right now is not real. Until you withdraw it, which most of you won't. You keep blowing your accounts, right? It's a cycle. And you think you're doing well. That's why I teach you, if you make 50 quid this week, withdraw 10 quid. Get yourself a nice bottle of white wine, red wine. Buy a bottle of Rioja. I don't care. Treat yourself to a lunch. Use the profits to live on. And start doing and having that mentality. Because when you go through this and you start growing your trading account, like this account here, we just showed, it goes from there to 13K, right? The next one, after that, year 2, we go to this, we do 13K. Let's say you get a little bit better, you get 4%. We're not doing any additional in deposits anymore. 57K at the end of year 2. 57K. Doing 4% a week for a year. Additional investments, none. 250K at the end of year 3. That's 20-something grand a month. 20 grand a month. 250K for year 4. You're not worrying about life anymore. Most of you won't do 4 days, 4 weeks consistently, but you want the big boy end money. Like, how many people in here are doing personal development? How many people in here are reading on a consistent basis, listening to audiobooks, listening to personal development, thinking into results, think and grow rich? Like, there's a reason that they're called think. If we understand that this here, it's the only thing in a human being's body. I'm going to go deep into some Bob Proctor stuff here, right? You can cut open my arms, my legs, my muscles, everything. And you can tell me to the molecular structure why this does this, why this does this, why blinking does that. But you can't tell me why I think. You can cut my brain in half, and you cannot tell me why you think. Right now, there's two conversations going on. There's me and you and you and you. If you didn't think there was in your head, you went, no, there isn't. Right? So you have to understand that this is always working. So what are we feeding it? What are we programming it? What are we going to the point of there? Every single time we're doing it, we're getting that little bit better, that little bit stronger, right? You're just getting better and better and better and better and better. And before you know it, it becomes a breeze. It's like walking, like breathing. Have you ever thought, like, when you try and think about breathing, it gets harder? Like, if we all sit and just go, like, it becomes fucking tough. So, like, the things you eventually want to become an unconscious competence, you want to get to a point where it's just so easy to do. You won't do that without practicing, without training it, without getting better at it. That's why I say read the book, listen to the audio, watch the content that we put out, like, engage in the community. If you make £2, send your profit shots. I don't care if you're making 20 pence. Some of you are so scared to send a little bit of a profit shot to the support groups. It's not 10 grand. Send it. I don't care if you made 3 pence. Send it in. Because last week you blew your fucking account and you're starting again, right? And you just need to get that small, consistent growth. That little bit better every single day. And that's why I want to do these calls a lot more on a consistent basis, because if you feel daft sending in profits, you're never going to win. Because eventually you'll over leverage. Eventually you'll gamble. Eventually you'll trade too much. And then what happens is you're 10K in the hole, 20K in the hole, 50K in the hole, so on and so on and so on. Right? And that's all I'm saying for this, is just get to a point where you remove you. If you remove yourself out of the equation, and I saw a great video yesterday. It was talking about religion, and it was talking about linking it to the gym a little bit. There was 2 people who went to the same gym, did the same sets, the same hours. They did the same reps. This guy was shredded. Like, you could fucking grate cheese on his abs. Ripped. This guy, still the same as when he started years ago. And what they were talking about is this guy, when he goes out of the gym is still him. He still keeps consuming different food. He doesn't let, certain food in because he's been to the gym. He's disciplined. He's consistent. He's going there all the time. This person thinks because he's been to the gym and the world owe him something, so he can have what he wants. By being good and going to the gym, good things will come his way. Put this into a religious perspective as well. There's people who have faith and those who don't. Just because you go to a Sunday church sermon doesn't mean you're religious, doesn't mean you've got the belief and the faith. But if you practice it every day and you understand gratitude, you understand journaling, you understand your goals, your affirmation, how you think, how you speak, there's a reason that we're all in the situation that we're in right now. If you're broke, living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have any money, you're constantly getting hit with fines, you're constantly getting hit with bills, you're constantly getting hit with everything. That's you. It's not the government. It's not the world. It's you. The quicker you can take ownership on that, and you say, fuck, yeah, it is me. What do I need to do differently? Change your environment. If I came to see you right now, would I see where you're going to be in 6 to 12 months' time, or do I see your current situation and maybe some stuff from the past? The stuff that I'm achieving right now, I've had written down for years. Years. So if you understand that what we think about, what we speak, that's why they say life and death is in the power of the what? Tongue. Because what we speak about, we bring about. You guys are always talking about other things and other people and other shit going on. It's going to come back. Whereas if you just think, right, fuck that, I'm going to speak positivity. I'm not only going to speak about good things. The only things coming out of my mouth are positive. The only thing I'm thinking about and associating myself with is this. If this group over here is talking nonsense, waffle, bullshit, I'm removing myself. And you might think, Bradley, what's this got to do with trading? Everything. Because if you can't be disciplined in this area, everything else has gone to shit. It's a fact. Like, and this bit here it blows my brain when I start teaching and coaching on this, because the amount of people who get them aha moments, I'm like, yeah, like you always complain you've got no money in your bank, but you're speaking about, oh shit, I've got no money, got no money, got no money. You get a little bit of money, you do some overtime at work. Shit, I've got money. No, you haven't. You get a speeding fine, parking ticket, bus lane ticket. Something else happens. You get a pop tire. Someone scratches your car. I don't know. Dog gets. Let's delete dogs. Actually, any animals don't. Nothing happens to them. They're good, right? Something happens that costs you a bill. You're like, oh, this happens to me again. Why me, God? Like, why me? Why me? It's because you're speaking about it. Whereas if you just say, listen, I place trades and they hit take profit easily and effortlessly, and my account grows every single day. And that becomes something that you open your little black book and you read to yourself every single day. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am earning 7 figures a month by helping people grow their accounts in the financial markets day by day. Page 2. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning 7 figures a month by doing this. Right? If you understand that what we speak, what we read, what we write, everything like that, we're gonna earn money from. So all of the other stuff that comes with it, all of the other bits and bobs that we get, it's game on, right? So for me, understanding all of this stuff and taking everything step by step, and really understanding that what we think, what we speak, what we're doing on day to day, our normal activities is what's going to come into the normal world. Same with trading. So if you understand right now that where you are financially is a direct relation to what you think and speak, go back years and look at when did shit change. You might have had a negative relationship, a negative impact with someone. There'll have been a time. Most of it was when you were 1 to 7 and you don't know about it yet, right? When you're a kid. I know where mine came from. My granddad, and I'm going to tell this story. I've never shared this actually, because it's never come onto the topic. But mine came from when we were younger. My granddad was a compulsive gambler, and he always used to come around to my house with my mum, and my mum would make him a ham sandwich every night with mustard, because that was his tea. That's all he could. He couldn't afford to eat, because he'd take every penny that he had and he'd take it to the casino. What I didn't know was when I was a baby, my granddad won the lottery. He won £14,650, which when my mum was 16, which was 50 years ago, however long it was, 40 something years ago, was a lot of money. He could have bought a mansion that's round us that's now worth 3.9 million for 16 grand. What would the normal human being do in this point? Get a mortgage, right? Not my granddad. He took it to the casino, put it on red split 0-3 on the roulette wheel, which for those of you who know the roulette, it's the worst odds. The worst. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. All of the money gone one night. So guess what he did for the rest of his life? chase this. But what he didn't understand was that he'd put that mindset and that mentality around money into my mum, into my dad, the scarcity mindset, not having enough money, chasing money. So guess who that got impressed upon? Me. So my little young version of me that's bouncing around, no wonder I was so much I was hustling at school trying to sell sweets to buy new football boots. I was trying to sell things to make more money because the younger version of me had seen what shit it caused for my family. Most people will never intuitively go back and visit their old versions of themselves. Right? They'll never do it. So I understood that that was the issue of why I had such an attachment to money. So when I got it in, it was like, you're not going anywhere. Mine now. Whereas I was like, actually, if I let that go and I invest here and I put this here, I sell these trainers, I buy these shoes, I go to the car boot sale on a Sunday, buy all the things, all the chipped PlayStation games. I come home and I rip them and I sell them on to my friends at school. I'll make more money. That was my mentality, always making more. So now when I got to the higher income levels, I didn't understand it at 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 grand because that's okay money. I had that in my hand anyway. The change had to be at 46 grand because that's a deposit for a house. That's a nice car. So the life-changing amount of money, 46K, could have withdrawn it. So that's why I teach you guys in here to breed the mentality early on. Remove your emotion out of it. Discipline yourselves when you're placing trades. It's not about the entry point, the stop loss, the take profit. It's nothing to do with that. It's you. It's understanding that making £2 okay. Yes, it could have made 6. I could have had the results for the lottery last Wednesday. Could have. Didn't win. So understanding everything there, the psychology behind all of that, it's you in your own way. There's nothing stopping you making 7 figures trading. Nothing. Zero. The trades are there for you to copy and paste. Those of you messaging me saying you're blowing your accounts because of 4 stop losses back to back, you're donuts. That's it. I don't have any pity for it. I don't have any, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Nope. It's your own fault. And guess what? I hope it happens again if you've not learned yet. Because it had to happen to me, to other people. I know friends of mine that have been trading for 7 years. They still don't understand it. They're still losing money. And I've got one of my friends who's about 800 grand deep. Deep. Like, not positive. He's losing. And again, like a lot of the times in this, you know, we share results, we share people winning, we share people. Yeah, you see a lot of people again, but do you though? It says you see a lot of people over leveraging from profit shots. We don't show you none of their. We've got clients of ours that have got 200K accounts, 75K accounts. So a 3 standard lot is buttons for that. So when you look at that there, like you can't compare their results unless we say what their account balance is. That 6 to 18 grand technically didn't over leverage. His first trade was at a perfect leverage and he hit take profit 4 at 200 pips. Grew his account by nearly half his account. So he nearly made 3.5 grand off that. But again, it's understanding that just because them profit shots that we see doesn't mean we take them trades like that. Slow and steady wins the race unless you've got capital to put in. If you sat there with a 10 grand account, run it up. Yeah. Yeah, but with a 6K account, with a smaller stop loss of 50 pips, like if they're willing to risk, again, I like this type of stuff because it allows me to break it down. A 6K account, divide by 100, they're risking £60 per 1%. If their risk, for example, is 5%, they're willing to lose 300 quid. So divide that there, which I know that this client was 7%, if we want to be honest. So 6K, divide by 100, times by 7. They're willing to lose 420 in that trade. Divide that by the trade was a 60 pip stop loss. They can trade £7 per move. That's a 7 standard lot. So even if it was only 3.5% risk, that's a 3.5 standard lot. So 3.5 times did 200. That's 700 quid. You take that on a couple of trades, your account's flying. So this is what I'm saying to you. You don't need huge money. If you do that on a £500 account and you use proper risk management and you don't mind risking 3, 4, 5%, what are you going to lose? 25 quid? Again, it's a Nando's. Most of you will have had that this weekend or some form of takeaway. And so as you go through this and as you go through the process and you're okay with losing money, that's the problem. Most of you aren't. Most of you aren't okay with losing that £300 to £500 account. That's why you won't grow. You have to be willing that the moment that account goes in there, that's gone. And it becomes fun coupons. So there's no emotional attachment to when that trade goes minus £3, minus £7, minus £20, minus £40. Because there's no attachment to it. It's gone. You don't go spend 30 quid at your local curry joint and think, oh God, that 30 quid. Fucking hell, if only I had that in my, oh my God, it's minus 30 quid out of my bank. You don't. You'll go to somewhere else afterwards. You'll have 4 glasses of wine and spend another 30 quid. There's 2 of you, so you spend 100 quid. You don't sit there and think, oh God, minus £100. It's only Saturday. Sunday, you go out for Sunday lunch, just you and family, you've just spent another 6. Oh God, we're 160 down this weekend. Kevin, we're 160 down this weekend. Did you know that? You don't do it. You don't. You don't do it. So why do you do it with trading? It's because you're not in control. It's because you haven't emotionally said that I'm okay to lose money. The moment that you say, listen, this is done, I'm out, gone, I've lost the money, trading becomes a piece of piss. Boring. And I'll say that over and over again. I'll say that on every call. Trading is boring. Market goes up, market goes down, you make money, you lose money, you make money, you lose money. You make money, you lose money, you lose money, you lose money. It's like any form of business. You work. For anyone who's done a network marketing, you know this. You work, you get paid. Work, you get paid, you get paid. Eventually, you get paid, 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 you work. It's the same with learning skill sets. It's the same with placing trades. Place a couple of trades, you get paid. Place a couple of trades, you get paid. It's even easy because you got to do it with your thumb. For those of you a little bit more, you might have it on bigger screen. You might have to zoom in a little bit more, right? But all I'm saying with these calls, hopefully you take something away from it. If you do, in fact, I'd love to see your takeaways from this call because I've covered quite a lot of a broad spectrum. In the school or in the Facebook or wherever you want to send it, in fact, the Facebook or the school, write down your takeaway from this call. And I'm going to put this out there. There's 71 people on this call right now. I would bet, I want to say my left toe on that, right? I don't want to lose any toes. I will bet, I don't know what I'm going to bet on it, but I will bet you that 35 people do not post in either the school or the Facebook group. I'll bet you on that. Because statistically, there's only a certain amount of percentage of people that follow instructions that win. Fact. So this just goes to show whether you're one of them people or are you not, or are you too big shot to fucking post in a Facebook or a school group? Do you know what I mean? Like that's some people's ego. You're commenting in the Telegram group about putting the same effort into myself. Yeah, man, and I'm going to read that just for the end of this call. I'll read this and then we'll call it a day. Because again, this sometimes comes when I was in the shower when I wrote this. For those of you who want to have some visual context on that. I sometimes spend about 35 minutes in the shower and this is why. I put, yay, it's the weekend. But before you celebrate, ask yourself, what are you really celebrating? Health? Absolutely. Relationships? Without a doubt. But let's get real for a second. Back in 2011, when I started my personal growth journey, I was a person partying from Thursday to Sunday, living for the weekend because I truly hated my job. We're conditioned to embrace that 9 to 5 mentality, work all week, then blow off the steam and spend money on the weekends, falling into the cycle of consumption. But here's the hard truth. Most of you dread your job, you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you feel stuck in a routine that doesn't serve your dreams and definitely not your bank account. What if instead of working hard at your job, you invested that same level of effort into yourself? What if you showed up for your personal growth with the same punctuality and dedication that you bring to work? But here's the best part, cost you nothing. You're on this journey with us. All it takes is the courage to remove your ego from the equation. Let's go. Let go of what's holding you back. Be willing to be submissive to the process and watch how far it takes you. The more you allow yourself to be humble and open to change, the faster you'll evolve. So why not run with it? You'll thank your future self. Most of you are too busy worrying right now. Who's got to work tomorrow? Put a 1 in the chat. Who's rocking up to work tomorrow at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock? Who's already thinking about work? Who started thinking about work this morning? You don't have the weekend off. You start thinking about it on late Saturday. You know why? Because you're out maybe having a drink. Late Saturday, you start thinking, shit, I can't drink too much tonight. I'll be hanging out my ass tomorrow. Fucking work on Monday. Go on. Right? So when you start understanding the process of this and you go through it all, a lot of you are good because you work for yourselves, which is fantastic, right? Which is great. But understanding if you put the same effort, the same mentality, the same mindset, the same focus, the same drive as you do to other areas of your life, you'll kill it on this. So guys and girls, again, I look forward to seeing you in the school, in the Facebook group. Let's see who actually does it. Let's see. But if not, we'll see you all on another call very, very soon. I'm going to put this call into the Zoom. I might crop certain bits out and put into little separate mini 3-5 minute trainings. What's happening with the lease trip? I'm waiting for confirmation for tomorrow, hopefully. Alton Hall tried charging me £4,700 so they can suck a dick. Excuse my French on that. If you sat around any kids, I know it's 9 o'clock in the UK. My bad. But I'm not paying £5,000. So my bad on that. But yeah, all the other stuff that comes with it, there'll be trades popping out. Daily affirmations list. I can always ping you guys over it if needs be. Just drop me a message. I might even put that in the trading in the school community actually. But guys and gals, I'll see you all very soon. Have a blessed evening. See you soon. Bye bye.